Hello, friends. What's up? I got my coffee right here. Do you have your coffees? What's going on? As always, I have only limited time today. I'm out of town for the next couple days, so I need to get done at the very least tomorrow's video and the weekly sip. And I not the weekly sip, TikTok Tuesday. I got to do both of those by the end of the day today. So, it's a bit of a tight day today for me. But that's how it goes. How's everyone going? What's up? I'm streaming on Twitch, on Kick, and on YouTube. Also on Twitter, but Twitter doesn't have a chat, so it doesn't matter. There's a few people in Twitch right now. Hello, Twitchers. I'll join in a little bit. I haven't pulled myself out of bed yet. The weekly drip. Here. I guess I'll do the donation plug before we get started, eh? So as always, if you want to send me stuff, you can send it to this address on screen. I'll open your packages on the stream. Your packages or your letters, all right? That would be nice if you want. However, if you want to join, if you want to support the channel, I mean, super chats and etc. are always nice, but you can join the D Club, the members only Discord, YouTube memberships, Twitch subs, Patreon, or Subscribestar. And in fact, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a free sub out of the deal. You already bought it. It came with your Amazon Prime account. So you might as well head over to my Twitch account and send it to me there. So there we go. How's everyone doing? Oh, I can probably leak to you a little bit of what's coming up. Aside from TikTok Tuesday, obviously. I recorded a video on last week's body count discussion that went viral. Everyone talking about what's a good body count for women, like in terms of previous sexual partners. How many is too many? The overwhelming majority of people simply feel like, you don't necessarily want like a virginal girlfriend unless you're religious, then it's different, right? But like for most average people, you want someone who has around the same amount of experience as you. If there's a wide disparity, it leads to some strange situations in your relationship. So like if you've had, 2 or 3 previous girlfriends, you're probably going to be okay with a girl who's had 2 or 3 previous boyfriends. Something like that, right? So there's a bunch of insecure women who are very complainy about being rejected for their high body counts. And so that's a video that I'm doing. And also, like, I haven't checked them out yet. Tricky Mario, I'm sorry. But also, there's like, I looked up the average body counts. In the West, the average body count for an adult guy is between 4 and 8. And the average body count for an adult girl is between 4 and 8. So it's like, well, it's going to be the same either way. If you have like 5 previous sexual partners, you can't really complain if a girl you like has also had 5 previous sexual partners. It's just how it is. $20 from Flex Mentalo. Thank you. Very appreciative. Don't trust those figures? Why not? There we go. YouTube chat just kicked in. Hello, YouTube chat. Those figures seem false. I don't know, maybe because you're black-pilled. Of course there'll be articles this stream, Soup Visual. What's up, buddy? Impossible. You can't find any girl who isn't that slutty. What the fuck? It's all connected, Dav. Oh my god, the Archcast. The Archcast is always fun, but I swear Arch's audience is a bit retarded. So are you guys, though. We're all a bit retarded. It's fine. I'm a virgin. Does that mean the only GF I can live with would also be a virgin? Not necessarily. Like, here's the thing. If you have a body count of like 2, and the girl you're dating has a body count of like 100, that's a problem, right? However, if you have a body count of like 100, and the girl you're dating has a body count of like 2, that's probably also going to be a problem. So, it really just depends. And here's the thing. Kick keeps connecting and disconnecting. I don't know, man. It's working on if that's not up to me, I think that has to be a problem with Kick, because it's working on my back end, man. Fucking Kick, dude. Kick, get your shit together. It seems to be okay now. It's okay. YouTube and Twitch are still running. Dev, didn't you get groomed at 14? No? What the fuck? Wait, what a monumentally moronic metric. How? How am I wrong? Anyway, that's just kind of how it is. Because here's the truth, all right? Women who are saying, yes, I've fucked 1,000 people, but you know what? You can't judge me. You have to accept me for who I am. And you're being misogynistic if you don't. It's like, they're retarded, obviously, right? But at the same time, guys who are like, I've fucked 1,000 girls, and that makes me a giga chad, and I want to settle down, and I want a virginal wife. They're also retarded. They're also just fucking stupid. All right. So that's how it is. Oh, good morning, everyone. I just started just a little bit ago. Uh-oh, did Kick die again? This is a Kick problem. It's not a Dev problem. Yep, Kick just keeps disconnecting. I don't know. Is any other channel on Kick having this problem? Let's see. How about you? This random ass channel. Who the fuck streams PGA Tour? I don't know. I don't know why it's doing it. I can't help you. Because Restream says everything's up and running. $5. Everyone ask Dev what bad touch Naomi did to him last night instead of the usual BS we do during the set. What the fuck? You're being a weirdo? I remember you saying that Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim had a comically high number of exes and she only had 7. No. The joke was that like 7 was considered comically high back in like 2010 or whenever that came out. And now that's considered kind of par for the course, which is funny. But the actual point is that a massive partner disparity between 2 people, that can lead to some problems. It doesn't mean your relationship's doomed. It means you have to navigate those problems. But in general, if you have around the same amount of partners, you're probably going to be fine because you're at least on the same level of experience generally, and that kind of like means that you're You're like, well, you're on the same level, so things will work out. But also, you can't really object when someone complains about your sexual history because that's their taste. It's simple as that. You know, if you're fine with a girl who has an extensive sexual history, that's fine. That's your taste. You're perfectly within your right to do whatever you want in this regard. If you don't want a girl with an extensive sexual history, that's fine too. Like that's fine too. Don't let anyone shame you for your sexual taste. That's ridiculous. What about women's pair bonding, Dev? That is ridiculous. Fucking red pill cope doesn't exist. Like, there's this idea. I've seen this talked about in red pill spaces, and it's fucking stupid. It's this idea that, like, oh, women pair bond differently because of differences in their brain and the way that certain chemicals work. And if they have sex more, they can't pair bond again. No, that has not panned out in any of the research. That's just retardation. If a woman or a man has a higher body count, do they have an STD? Well, the problem there would be the STD, not the high body count, right? Like a person with a body count of 1 who has an STD and a person with a body count of 100 who doesn't have an STD, the STD is the problem. It matters why the body count exists. If you have 6, but they were all earnest attempts at a relationship and the other 6 is from casual sex, that can be a problem. Maybe not. Florence Nightingale says that pair bonding is ridiculous because she says it's just impossible for women to have deep bond with someone. A man is built different though. Yeah, but not in this case, not in this way. All right? It's okay, dude. A man's built different though. That's such a weird cope. Like, yeah, it's true, but it's not accurate enough to actually add to the conversation. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen that too, Dragon Fat. Like people with STDs, people don't want to fuck them because they have an STD. They call that like discrimination against. It's like ableist. It's like, wow, no, I don't want to catch what you fucking have. Anyway, the ultimate point is, you can do whatever you want on this topic. Date whatever girl you want. Reject anyone for any reason you want, right? Like, it's your business. Do whatever you like. It matters, Dev. Men have to work for it, so it's seen as a compliment. Women can get it easily, so it's seen as slutty. Here's the thing, Dapper Wolf. If women can get it easily and men have to work for it, who are the easy people women are getting it with? Because the implication of women getting it easily means that the guy that they're with is also getting it pretty easily. What the fuck is this? All right. Oh, and also there's like a big part of religious ethics. Like if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, even if you're Islamic, um, a big part of these religions is forgiveness, right? So I don't buy that there's all these very like right wing trad religious people running around saying that they'll never forgive women for having high body counts. It's like, hold on. Forgiving those who fell to temptation, that is a core component of your religious morality. If someone actually has changed, isn't there some onus on you to forgive them? I mean, if Christ would, why wouldn't you? That's the thing religious grifters can't comprehend. Yeah, I know. That's actually the point. There's lots of religious people or people who claim to be religious. They don't have a single fucking shred of forgiveness in their bodies. It's like, you're just a fucking grifter. You're just lying about it. You don't actually believe. This is just like a persona you've adopted online to get clout. Oh yeah. Like, honestly, right-wing people who don't practice their religion and forgive people, they might as well just be like left-wing cancel culture people. Same thing, really. They don't want to forgive. $5 from Stephen Burr. Thank you. Hey, Dev, first time watching live, drinking black powder coffee, Michigan dark cherry flavored. Well, welcome aboard, man. Thank you. Emperor Creatine. Christ also said, "Go and sin no more." It is not merely enough to forgive; the sinner has to make an effort to stop, but the forgiveness is pointless. Well, I agree with that, right? Like here, let's say you meet. This is an example I pull up in the video I'm going to put out. Let's say you meet the uh the blue sundress Wojak girl at church, right? And she says, "Yes, I've had sex with 1,000 men because I once fell to temptation, but I found Christ and I don't do that anymore." And then you observe her for a few months, and she actually is everything she says she is. She actually does, go to church all the time, and she's involved in her community, and she has done a complete 180 and completely changed her life. At that point, I think it would be morally wrong for you not to forgive her. At least by your morality. Dev says, "Stop coping, catch the herpagonosyphilids." I'm not saying that. Tricky Mario, thanks for the $8. I recently got the full 1990 Burger King Kids Club Kids Transporter toys set from eBay. All 6 kids are in good condition. Well, good job, man. Congrats. $20 from Soul Reaper. Hey, Dev, I just wanted to thank you for all the videos. I watched a lot of your old and new videos recently, and I think my IQ has gone up 2 points. Here's some money. Thanks very much, man. People are willing to forgive once, but twice you're screwed. To be honest, I completely agree with you, Miss Sparkles. I'm that way too. All right, like I forgave Scrump once. Then when he did it again, I was done with him. I forgave Aiden Paladin once. When she did it again, I was done with her. Like I forgive once. I'm kind of in that same boat where it's like after 2 times, after getting stabbed in the back twice, no, you can just go away. All right. There's 8 billion people in the world. You're not unique. I'll find someone else who is more or less you, and I'll put them in my life instead of you. Red Doomed Earth, $2. What does that forgiveness entail, Dev? Well, here's the thing. Red Doomed Earth. Like, if you're looking for a girl, and you meet a girl, here, actually, no, I'll put this to a chat poll, okay? I don't feel like typing out the question, but you know what I'm saying, okay? So, here, let me put it this way. Guys. Yes or no? Answer yes or no to this poll. You meet a girl. She's perfect for you. But she does have like hundreds of like a very high body count, way higher than you're comfortable with. But she's otherwise perfect for you, and she has legitimately changed in her heart. There's no STDs, no kids or anything. Just high body count, but she's legitimately changed in her heart. Would you or would you not date her? Would you? Yes or no? Would you date her? Yes or no? All right. Anyway, I don't feel like typing out that whole thing, so I'm just gonna. There you go. You heard what I said. Yes or no in the YouTube poll. I'm saying that she's legitimately changed. She's not the person she was back when she did all that stuff. It's not just her like wearing a mask and trying to fool you. It's a legitimate real change. Yeah, it's a YouTube poll, not a Twitch poll. Sorry. Wow, it's like 50-50. No, it's more like 60-40 in terms of yes, but still, yeah. Okay, she's otherwise perfect is the point, yeah. You'll never know for certain the damage that has been done. Dude, we all have damage. That's part of living life. Everyone's fucked up somehow, right? Even if you've lived a completely perfect life with no hardship, eventually everyone you love will die. So no. This idea, oh, they're damaged. No, man. Not a good reason. Everyone's damaged. Okay, it's gone to like 63%, 37% on the yes side. Getting closer to 2/3 yes. Oh my god, Odin says, Dev, is finding out that your wife sucked no, is finding out your partner sucked 100 people off in college a deal breaker, or is my wife overreacting? Dev is out here being more Christian than real Christians on a Sunday. Oh my god, Dave here says, what if she got gaped out by a 13-incher and her cooch never recovered? Okay. Listen, you may not have experience with women if you're asking that question. Oh god. Do I need to explain biology here? Um, to actually permanently stretch a woman's vagina such that it doesn't come back, um, you need larger than 13 inches and you need to do it repeatedly. Many, many, many times. If she just gets like one 13-incher rammed into her, it's less likely she'll be stretched and more likely she'll be ripped and required surgery. Anyway, it's 60-40 for the yeses. So mostly yeses, but a fair number of no's. Okay. Yeah, girls who use bad dragon toys like every day, they're gonna be like more likely to be stretched out than somebody who like has a big dick like X or something. The simple principle is the more partners you've had, the less likely you will be satisfied with monogamy. Yeah, that's kind of it. But that's also for men though as well, right? Like, imagine a man who's like fucked hundreds of women and he's had orgies and threesomes and stuff. Like, do you think he's gonna settle down with one chick for the rest of his life? This isn't just like a thing for women though. What's Bad Dragon? Bad Dragon is a company that makes giant fucking dildos. We're talking like over a foot long, and they're all really strange shapes, like horse cocks and dragon cocks and like a bunch of weird things. Would it be weird to agree not to talk about past lovers? I don't know. See, I personally think that there's a natural point in a relationship where you go over past experiences, and in my experience, it's generally been a couple months in. You know, you've gotten past the first couple dates awkwardness. You've probably had sex for the first time. You're settling into a more long-term relationship. And at some point you have that heart-to-heart conversation where you talk about like all the things that happened in your life, right? Childhood experiences, exes, things like that. That's a normal conversation to have, all right? Now, like part of the issue was like on Twitter when this went viral, people who were saying like just lie about your sexual history. Those are terrible people. But also like if you're the kind of weirdo who's like on date one being like, so how many guys have you fucked? That's also kind of weird, you know? That conversation should happen, but it should happen organically. You know what I mean? Shitting on exes is a fun pastime. Dev's audience confirmed as men with next to zero standards. It's sad, really. Well, hold on, though, Lamb, because that might be an indication of next to zero standards, but it also might be an indication of forgiveness. It's like I said, all right? That's a religious value. This is not a secular value. The idea that a woman has gone through like hundreds of partners because she was once a whore and then she was saved and she came to Christ and, now she's fine. You can say, oh, low standards. You accepted a girl like that, you have low standards. You could also say that you're capable of Christ-like forgiveness. All right? It's not just a low standards conversation, but it's definitely possibly a low standards conversation. My body count? Trying to think about it. I think if we're including people that I only did oral with, probably around 15. And Naomi's is around a dozen. So I was like, whatever. I'm a bit like higher than average, that's for sure. But it's it's whatever. I don't think 15 qualifies as a stud, dude. Did I see the as Starfield drama over the pronouns? Yes, I was on the Archcast yesterday all about it. No, that's true, Sigartha. You don't have to marry her. This is what I said. Like, this is what I mean, though, Sigartha. Is like, the hypothetical was you meet a girl who is otherwise perfect for you, and you fall for her, and then you discover her sexual history, but then you also discover that she has legitimately changed. Should you marry that person? Because it's a legitimate transformation, not just her coping and playing at it. A CPR, $5. Thank you. Hey, Dev, first time catching the sip live. Got my black rifle Beyond Black next to me. Cheers, bro. Thank you. How many were trans? Not that many. More cis women than trans women, for sure. What happened to the Archcast? Arch took it down. And the main reason is because we talked about every single banned topic. We talked about pedophilia and child porn. We talked about the Jews and their influence over society. We talked about election denial. It was like every topic at once, all on one stream. We were just like, oh. Innuendo Studios video. What's Innuendo Studios again? Let me look this up. Oh, this fucking more? Maybe one day. Did anything happen with him recently? The stream's still up on Twitter. Thanks very much, Matthias. Appreciate it, buddy. Keep those smoke alarms going. Wait, Dev's strategy from something me from talking. V kept interrupting me. You fuck. Here's the thing about the Archcast. I love going on it. It's fun. Arch and V are my friends, despite how much we disagree. Like, here's the thing. Arch is more than happy to just let V and I argue and rake in the super chats, which is pretty funny. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But like, we do have real disagreements, but we're still friends, and that's the important thing, right? Like I have serious disagreements with Sargon, and we're still friends, right? V was right though. Nah, not really. I don't think so. Like, the point that I was trying to make to V basically is that the way that our current society is set up, and the only way it can be set up, is that if you want to enjoy all the fruits of modern things, you have to trust on some level that other people are doing their jobs correctly. All right? When you're driving down the road, You are keeping an eye out to make sure that nothing crazy happens, but on some level you have to trust that other drivers just aren't going to go nuts and ram into you, right? If you swipe your bank card somewhere, yeah, you want to like keep on a lookout. Is there like a little weird bug on the ATM or something? But for the most part, you're trusting that like the people at the bank are doing their jobs, people that you're buying your stuff from, they're all doing their jobs. Like at some point, you have to trust that other people are doing their jobs properly, because you are not smart enough or educated enough to ensure that they are. You can't check them, right? And that's kind of the point. It's kind of the point, is that you can't double check everyone's work, which is why I'm a liberal and I'm an institutionalist. You need institutions that do their jobs properly. Oh yeah, YouTube made the fucking ads automatic now. It's just fucking how it is. Like, it's bullshit. $5 from Devlin. Thank you. The consequences of her prior actions are the deciding factor. Sketchy past into significant interest, but not necessarily. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if she has no STD, she has no kids or anything. Like, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah. Basically, you have to trust that other people are doing their job, right? So, for example, when you eat food, you didn't ensure that there's no E. coli on the food. Like, you probably washed it, which is reasonable, but like, you can't truly examine the food to the level that you would absolutely have to. You can't do that because you're not capable of it. So you trust that various food safety institutions are doing their job. And when they don't, when someone's corrupt in there, or when they make a mistake and like people get sick, that's when you kind of go up in arms. You go, hey, you're supposed to do your job here. Like, then you have recourse, right? And there are recourses for these kind of failures. But every day that you eat food that somebody else prepared, you're trusting that somebody else that you didn't see did their job properly so that you're not going to get sick. And you have to. You have to trust that. Wash yo chicken, white people. Use dish soap. Oh my god, you fucks. But you get my point though, is that like, if you were just to pull up, this is why I hate the anti-police left, right? If you were just to pull up a long list of every single police interaction between an officer and the public in, let's say, the past 50 years of American history, every single one, from major ones that like went viral down to mundane ones like traffic stops, you will find that like 99.999% of them were all done completely well and legitimate and just fine. And that's how it should be, man. This idea that you can't trust the cops, like on the left, it's like you can't trust the cops, and on the right, like it's like you can't trust the feds, right? But if you were to like magically create an accurate record of every single thing they've ever done, you will find that in most cases they've actually been pretty okay. Now, you can complain about the places where they've failed or the places where they've been corrupted. That's fine. But this whole, we must abolish the feds, or we can never trust anything they do, or the judges and the courts are in on it, and the politicians are in on it, and the prosecution's in on it, everyone's in on it, we can't trust anything. It's like, that is just cope to me. It's just, not only is it cope, it's an impossible way to live. Yeah, like, OMG, he shot a black person. That means that they're constantly killing black people. Like, that's ridiculous on the left, but it's the same thing as people who assume that every time the FBI does something, it's wrong and it's corrupt and it's politically motivated. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case. Let's see here. $5 for Emperor Creatine. Today I learned AVGN has a decently sized following in Japan, and almost all his episodes have Japanese subtitles. He even has references in manga. Yeah, I saw that too. Like, there's like a channel that uploads AVGN and Nostalgia Critic episodes with subs. I saw that. Miss Sparkles, can I kidnap you? Thanks, dude. Michael McNee, $5. What do you think about the recent UAP UFO revelations? Did you see the ATIP Privy Council memo to Justin Trudeau on the CTV with the Yukon shootdown? No fucking clue what you're talking about. I'm going to look this up. Oh, the secret memo on the identified object in the Yukon. Was there Canadian UFOs? Did they come for a maple syrup? $5 from Taras Shevchenko. Do you think the Cops show on balance improved or harmed the public's perception of the police? Probably improved. Anytime that you actually see what police do, it probably helps things out, you know? Here's the thing, like, you can like ask your city to go for a ride along, right? And they generally let you do it. Like, if something crazy is going on, maybe they'll say, okay, step aside. But like, if you want to see what the cops do, you can like just get in the back of their car and go for a ride along for a day and see what their job is. No one ever does it because everyone wants to keep their preconceived notions. But no, here's the thing, man. Like, I've even said, like I said on Twitter. Let me just pull this up because someone was coping about my Archcast appearance again, because they always cope about my Archcast appearance. Yeah. I said, you guessed and were right is my actually correct take. Is Trump guilty? Is Hunter Biden guilty? Is Andrew Tate guilty? Are the January 6th rioters guilty? The answer to all of these questions is not to give a hot take right away in Virtue Signal on Twitter. It is to wait and see what comes out in court. All right? You have a bunch of leftoids out there who were given hot takes about Kyle Rittenhouse. They were all fucking wrong. And they didn't have to open their mouths and destroy their credibility. You simply had to wait and see what came out in court. There's a bunch of fucking rightoids out there who are giving hot takes about Andrew Tate. They don't have to be wrong, but they want a virtue signal on Twitter. The correct thing to do is to stop and wait and see what comes out in court. Everyone wants to give a fucking hot take with incomplete information, and they're all retarded. All of them are retarded. All of them. And I think that's a point that V just didn't get. And I was trying to get it through to him, and he just didn't get it. It's like, listen, you don't have to give, like the millisecond a new article drops, you don't have to give the hottest fucking take imaginable and then have egg on your face 6 months later when the truth comes out. You can wait. You can fucking wait, dude. And just see. Just wait and see what fucking happens, man. God damn, guys. Why do people keep saying? Why do you keep saying Innuendo Studios? But I've seen it like 10 times now. Why? Did he do something? Hold on, Barrett for $5. Thank you. I opened Twitch to gift a sub and happened to see Amaranth on the trending tab. What is she streaming on Twitch? Hold on, let me see. What nonsense is coming out of Amaranth? Let me go see. Hold on. Let me go see. Amaranth. She is on. Oh, plus 18 oiled up bikini. Yep. Dude, Amaranth is fucking shameless. I mean, she's still cute. Like, I'd definitely bang her than toss her in the dumpster. But she's fucking shameless, dude. And she's just humping the ground, yeah. Yeah, she's doing just right. Here's the thing, like, Twitch was a great streaming site like 10 years ago for video games. I still stream video games on Twitch. You should watch my gaming streams, by the way. But like, fuck, is it so? It's so ridiculous now. Bon voyage for $5. Thank you. In New York, there are levels of cops. State police are pricks who start stuff. Town depends on the department. Source: my deputy uncle and patrol cop, Gramps. Yep, I agree. Like it always depends, right? Yeah. Wait, she's sterile? Really? Oh my god. Tossing a dumpster party. Wait 48. Not always literally 48 hours, but you know, what does wait 48 mean? I don't understand. I don't understand, dude. Anyway, that is my weekly Archcast rant. I'm gonna I will have to do a video on like on institutions, right? Just a general video on institutions. I'm gonna have to do that at some point because it's kind of important. Like the issue ultimately is that you have some people, not everyone obviously, but some people who just don't trust any institution, right? Like, okay, we don't trust any police, we don't trust the government at all, any branch of government, the legal system, we don't trust the courts, we don't trust the prosecutors, we don't trust the politicians, we don't trust the president, the executive, we don't trust anything ever. We don't trust any institution. We don't trust like any safety institution, any regulatory body. We trust nothing. It's like, well, okay, who do you trust to actually give you accurate information? Oh, my uncle on Facebook. It's like, oh, okay. Who do you trust? Oh, I trust one of many different alt media grifters who are in it for the money just as much as CNN or ABC or MSNBC. Oh, okay. Like when you go to like the Gateway Pundit or something, like or like some other like right-leaning news site, you think they don't have a financial incentive? They obviously do. Like Tim Pool, he's out here doing the most clickbaity shit, talking about the coming revolution for years is never gonna fucking happen, or the Civil War. Sorry, the Civil War is never gonna fucking happen. It's like, you think he's not making money off this? And the issue ultimately is that you can't investigate yourself. You can't investigate everything yourself because you're not smart enough. So you have to trust somebody. And if you don't trust anything, any component of the state, or any university, or anything ever, it's like, well, like you're at some point, yeah, like, okay, we can critique some of these things when they're wrong, but like you're just blinding yourself at some point. If you trust nothing ever, you are just blinding yourself. Here's the thing, Safety Zoom. You don't need to trust anyone to own a sharpened stick in the woods. If you want to go live that life, go ahead. I don't. All right. I like all the stuff that modernity has brought to us, but the trade-off is that you must trust other people. Dev, we have people being arrested for purely political reasons. That's pretty much a civil Cold War. No, like that's such cope, man. Here. How about this? If you're somebody in the chat who supports Trump, I want to ask you a question, okay? You probably view Trump, I'm going to assume that you view Trump as currently being politically persecuted, right? If that's the case, do you think it's a bad thing that the current administration in the United States is politically persecuting its political opponents? Yes or no? Zero fucks. Unlike food, where every meal works to build trust in the system, high-level politician scandals appear to update one's Bayesian prior the other way. No, I completely agree with that, right? I completely agree with that. But here's the thing. It's because you're only noticing the scandals and not every time things work, because that's what goes viral on Twitter. And that's the problem, right? I could give you a list of every single correct thing the government's ever done. But it's only the negative ones that influence your Bayesian needle. That's a problem. $10, Taras Shevchenko. When you talk to your grandkids about your tour of service in World War III, you can be proud to say I participated in over 50 Timcast streams. Okay, so yes, lots of yeses. Okay, all of you guys who are saying yes, it is bad that Trump, that the current administration is persecuting its political opponents. Where were all of you when Trump was shouting "lock her up" back in 2016? When Trump was openly declaring his intention to persecute his political opponents? That's what that was. That's what that was. Now, the issue is you could say, well, Hillary was actually guilty and she actually deserved it. You know what? As we go through the court cases and more evidence comes out about Trump, if it turns out he's actually guilty, you don't have a leg to stand on here, right? The only issue that was also bad, Dingus, no one was saying it back in 2016. Listen, maybe some of you guys are Zoomers, so you were young 7 years ago. I'm an old man. I was an adult 7 years ago, and I remember everyone was on board the prosecute Hillary train. All right? Yeah. Here, for example, Senenko says she broke the law. Guess what? They're probably gonna find out that Trump broke the law. So either you simply want your guy to win, regardless of the means, and if that's the case, I have no respect for you, or you must admit that when the same system that you wanted to prosecute Hillary with comes back and says, oh, Trump's actually guilty, you have to say, okay, he's guilty. He should be punished. Not a false equivalence. That is the absolute equivalence. Adam Unfriended, $5. Thank you. Do you think people who say no big deal or who cares about the pronouns in Starfield are just tired of culture war stuff? Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of them are. I think a lot of people are just tired of the culture war, and they see the pronouns in a vacuum as being not a big deal because, frankly, they aren't really a big deal. I mentioned this on the Archcast, right? Like, the idea is something like, most people won't use the pronoun selector. Even most trans people won't use it because, like, your average trans woman will just simply make a female character and play the game and use she, her. Most people don't want pronouns different from their gender expression. It is just a virtue signal to include it. And a very small percentage of people will actually use it. And most of them will use it just to troll and, like, joke around, right? Like, to give their obviously masculine character she, her pronouns. Most of them will just troll with it. However, the issue ultimately was that Nexus mods blocked people from modding it out. Because, well, if it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter to remove it. But oh, suddenly it matters now. Like, that's where things basically fell apart, was with the Nexus mods thing. $5, Emperor Creatine, thank you. Trump talked a big game, but he ultimately decided not to prosecute Hillary. How is that worse than Biden who's actually doing it? The difference is that he did try to prosecute Hillary, but there was no evidence, it turned out. That's the point, all right? Is that, in my opinion, Hillary was probably guilty, but at the very least, she was smart enough to cover her tracks, and her tracks got covered enough that they didn't have enough to bring her to court. Now, in my opinion, Trump is also probably guilty of at least a couple of these. Not all of them. Some of them are just obvious cope. But Trump is probably guilty of a couple of these things. And, unlike Hillary, Trump didn't cover his tracks. So I think Trump's probably fucked. We'll have to see. Maybe more stuff will come out in court. Who knows? But that seems to be the difference. It's not that there's supposed to be some sort of, like, sacred vow against going after your political opponents. If they did something wrong, you should go after them. But the difference is, what can you prove in court? That's always the difference. And it seems like Hillary, being, in the politics game for much longer, was much more capable at covering up whatever she had done than Trump was. $10. Dev, what about someone like me? Prosecute Hillary, she broke the law. Prosecute Trump, he broke the law. Prosecute Hunter and Joe, they also broke the law. No, here's the thing. I'm completely on your side, right? Apply the law to everyone. Apply it to Hillary, apply it to Trump, apply it to Hunter and Joe Biden, apply it to the January 6th rioters, apply it to all of them, regardless of political persuasion. I'm completely on board with that, man. That's how it should be. The issue ultimately is that you have left-wingers who only want the law applied against right-wingers, and you have right-wingers who only want the law applied against left-wingers. Are you a Neon Genesis Evangelion enjoyer? Yes. Yes, I am, Noel. That's a great show. Anyway. Politicians breaking the law is a tale as old as time. It's who we can actually get the law applied to. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Anyway, here, you know what? Enough argument. You guys want to do? You guys want to go do the Let's go do the news. We've jibber jabbed now for nearly an hour. I always have fun doing this stuff with you, but we have articles to talk about, don't we? Let's do it. Let me find them. Where the hell? Where the hell? Hey, British Knight. I don't like coffee. Fight me. Drama gets its views after all. Here's the thing, British Knight. I know that you're much more libertarian than me, but we're also very friendly. You and I can probably have like a good libertarian conversation, because as much as I like libertarian political philosophy, and I've read a bunch of it now, I've done a lot of reading on it. I ultimately find libertarians to be like unconvincing. There's like a Stone Toss comic, right, where the libertarian sees the Thanos gauntlet, and it's like state power. It says state power written on it. And the libertarian says, I can't take it. It would be violating my ethics. And then the leftist comes up and takes it and then punches him with it. And that's basically how I feel about libertarians, is that they're basically utopians. They don't understand the nature of political power. Dracus, thanks for the $5. I am tired, Dev. I want Arch and V to talk about non-culture war stuff. I want Arch to focus on Warhammer, and I want V to focus on his game. Well, here's the thing, Dracus. Like, that's why I talk this kind of conversation here on the Weekly Sip. And why I don't talk about it, at least not nearly as much, on the gaming streams. Because the gaming streams are my hangout time. It's where, like, Dave and I fuck around, you know? I like keeping these things separate. What does coffee have to do with libertarianism? Fight me! Well, here's the thing. Since I've last spoken to you, British Knight, I've read a whole bunch of right-wing political philosophy, okay? I've read Sam Francis, Leviathan and Its Enemies. I've read Mencius Moldbug, An Open Letter to Open-Minded Progressives. I've read The Managerial Revolution, What is Happening in the World. That was not Paul Gottfried. What was his name? Burnham. So I've been looking into right-wing political philosophy. Right? Hold on. I read Academic Agents, The Populist Delusion. Like, I've been getting in to the right-wing political philosophy just to see what people on your side of the spectrum believe. And they make decent criticisms of liberalism. Obviously, Hans Hermann Hoppe, Democracy: The God That Failed. I've read these books, and they all make decent critiques of liberalism, but all of their prescriptions are absolute dog shit. And there are so many rightoids who are like, Dev, you're just ignorant. You have to, if you read this, you'll truly understand. You'll become more right-wing and based like us. And I'm more liberal now than I ever was after reading these books. What, Devo just going typical lefty and changing the topic to libertarianism instead of coffee? What the fuck, dude? Like, don't worry. I also reject the left. I've also read Marx, and that's not very good. All right. I've read like the fucking In Defense of Looting Woman. and she's retarded. I've read the fucking what was it? Robin DiAngelo, like she's dumb too, right? No. So I'm not more. I said sorry. If I said more left than I ever was, I didn't mean it like that. I don't think I said that, but I might have. What I mean is I'm more liberal than I ever was. A liberal. You keep changing the topic from coffee. God damn it, British Knight, you fuck. Basically, what I'm saying is like I've been trying to get into more of the right wing political philosophy, and it's only made me more liberal. It's only made me more like solidly as like a liberal, as a liberal centrist, basically. Freudian slip, Freudian slip, Freudian slip, Freudian slip. No, I got Freudian slipped. Oh no. Aiden Paladin was on Lotus Eaters recently, and so was Academic Agent. Any thoughts? Haven't watched the Aiden Paladin stuff. Academic Agent stuff was okay. Here's the thing, like my problem with Aiden Paladin is personal. She's still very intelligent when it comes to psychology. Anyway, her videos are still pretty good, but like my problem with her is entirely personal. The state will collapse when we measure it. Do you get the joke? Yeah, I get the joke. It's a physics joke. I get it. But yeah, like Sam Francis, I mean, he was a paleo-conservative, also kind of a white nationalist. The Populist Delusion, that's Academic Agent. We all know who he is. Hans Hermann Hoppe, he was an ANCAP. Burnham was, I think, a libertarian, or at least he was some type of like like very right-wing Republican type in the States. So I enjoyed Arch's Gatekeeping series as a game dev. I just enjoyed devlogs. I like watching Tango Tech build Decked Out and Hermitcraft. Oh, I don't know what any of that means, but thank you, Drekus. Jiggy Calzone. Remember we just wanted to play video games? Yes. And I still just want to fucking play video games. What's the lower on Does personal problem with Aiden? It's very simple. Aiden kept wanting to get me to talk to Oozloo and Scrump again. And they had both violated my trust and privacy multiple times. Like we were not friends, and I didn't want to be friends anymore. And I told Aiden that several times, and she wouldn't listen. I kept saying, "Stop putting me in Discord groups with them. Stop sending them what I tell you. Like, stop, leave it alone." And she wouldn't, and she did it several times. And eventually, I just said, "Go away," and so now she's gone away. And basically, like, I gave her a chance. She said I wouldn't do it again, and she did it again, and so I said goodbye. Simple as that. It's not a political thing. Even if I disagree with her politics, it's not a political thing. It's entirely her behavior. Oh no, I'm building bridges so evil. Dude, when you tell her to stop multiple times, listen to the fucking stop. All right? I didn't know you had such a problem not understanding fucking consent. That's supposed to be a left-wing problem. I paid 25 AED. Where's your super chat, dude? Let me find it. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Hammer Yasser, thank you. The trans issues are media distractions from inflation, unemployment, homelessness, crime rate. I respect you. You should put some focus on those. Well, inflation's mostly done. Hold on. What's the 2023 inflation rate? Okay. Inflation will stay around 3% for the next year, returning to the 2% target by 2025. Okay. So inflation was almost 10% last year. Now it's around 3. So the inflation problem has pretty much solved itself. Well, it hasn't solved itself, but you know what I mean. Like it's done. Unemployment. Unemployment in 2023. The unemployment rate is 3.8%. That's pretty normal. Like, I mean, wasn't it like 10% or some crazy amount? Yeah. It was a crazy amount before. It was 15% back at the start of COVID. Now it's 3.8. That's like that's a fine unemployment rate. Homelessness is still a problem. Yep. Homelessness and crime rates. Those are both on the rise, I think. Homelessness for sure. Crime rate, USA 2023. The crime rate is dropping. Robberies fell 3.6%, residential burglaries 3.8%, non-residential burglaries 5%, larcenies 4.1%. There was a crime spike during COVID, but it is on the decline now. So it seems like these problems, with the exception of homelessness, because that's a whole other kind of thing with all the houses being bought up, it seems like these problems are not big problems the way that everyone thinks they are anymore. I have a boba. I have a car now. We bought a new one. Like, we're good. The inflation rate is just a rate of change. My grocery bill is still almost double what it was. Here's the thing about inflation, all right? We had inflation, and that was bad. But if you're asking to go back to the previous prices, like deflate backwards, that's even worse. All right? You want inflation. You don't want inflation, but you also don't want deflation. Like, if we've gone through a period of inflation, that sucks. But to go through a period of inflation and then to go through a period of deflation just to get back to what you were comfortable at, like intuitively before, that's even worse. All right? You want the money to be wherever it is, because both inflation and deflation cause serious problems. No, I agree with you, British Knight. It's not necessarily a win for Biden. It's just things going back to the way they were before. That's true. Like, I don't think Biden can say this is a massive victory. This is just returning to the baseline. But I mean, that's still good. I'll take it. It's better than things getting worse. Vicarus for $5. The problem with inflation and unemployment is now that everyone is poorer and their new jobs are worse. Life is measurably becoming more shit. Yes and no. Like, here's something I've been thinking about. Okay? Chat. I know that you've all seen these memes floating around. Like, where your grandparents bought a house in like the 1950s or something, and they paid like $7,000 for it. And it was a nice house. And now you can't even buy a house for like, $500,000, right? And even if you adjust for inflation, houses are still more expensive than they were, right? So it's not just an inflation matter where each individual dollar is worth less. In fact, even adjusted for inflation, houses cost more, right? So everyone's complaining about that. It's like, houses cost more. What the fuck? This is not. But here's the thing. I've been thinking about that. Like, it's easy to just get mad at that, right? Be like, fuck, houses cost more. This is bullshit. Housing markets, the housing companies, the government, someone's fucking it up. It's easy to get mad, but it's harder to actually think about it. To actually like not just react emotionally, but think about it. Like, why are houses more expensive? Truly, is it demand? It's probably partially demand. Okay, can we batten down the hatches on demand when it comes to immigration? You can probably do something there. Okay, fair enough. But what else could it be? What else could it be? All right. If you look at what goes into building a modern house right now compared to 1950, it's very different. All right. Houses tend to be bigger. They tend to have more insulation. They tend to have more wiring. All right. Because electricity, sometimes internet's built into the house, like through the rooms, cable, right? Basically, there's There's a bunch of different hookups for different appliances that now exist that didn't exist in 1950. So basically, the stuff that goes into building a house, there's actually more stuff that goes into building it than in 1950. And they're bigger too. So houses tend to cost more, even when adjusted for inflation, even when taking into account immigration and population boom and all these sort of things, because the houses themselves are actually more valuable than they used to be. So it's easy to just get mad at the powers that be and claim that, it's their fault that your life sucks or something. But it takes a bit more brain power to sit down and actually try to think about real reasons as to why certain things are happening. You know what I mean? So should your wages keep up such that you should be able to buy a house? I'm not even sure they should, because you're now performing labor that your ancestors performed, but they got a much worse product out of it than you are. So should you be able to afford a house with all the modern amenities in it on the same wage that your grandparents did, adjusting for inflation, when their house was worse than the one that you want to buy? Probably not. The exchange doesn't seem correct there. Ethan Rogers, $10. Pseudo-rightoids seem weirdly unserious. They hold nonsense, contradictory views, particularly remaining on sliding with their friends while staying super uninformed themselves. Not all rightoids, but definitely some rightoids. Definitely Twitter rightoids for sure. Thank you for the $10, though. Gundrium for $5. The major issue is wages were detached from value long before any of us were born, and the only way out is fire. Hard disagree on that, but thank you. Hylian Juggalo, $5. COVID kills one 60K job. Guy gets two 20K jobs. Biden economic person. Growth! It's not just that sort of spreadsheet fuckery, dude. Oh, and here's the thing. Just because we can identify these problems and be like, okay, well, it's actually happening because of this and this and this and this, that doesn't make anyone's life better, right? Even if you've more accurately identified a problem than, say, someone who's kind of being stupid and ideological about it, that doesn't actually improve anyone's life. It gets you a step closer, but it's only the beginning. So, wait. I love how Dev skips the good point comments. I'm reading super chats, dude. There's some fucking cope. Jesus. As a writer, I can tell you I'm uninformed on a lot of shit, but I don't talk about that shit, which allows me to have the time to actually learn about it and develop an opinion. That's what you should do, man. I said this earlier before you showed up. Too many people want to give a hot take on Twitter, and it's just wait, man. Wait for the evidence to come out. Wait for more information. You don't got to see one article then immediately jump to the craziest fucking conclusion. Hold on. Okay. I've read all the super chats. I've finally gotten through them all. Thank you very much. Shall we look at the articles today? Let's go. Do I have them? Hold on. Actually, I'm going to grab a drink. I finished my my coffee. Wait, is the coffee actually finished? There's one final gulp, and I'm grabbing a water bottle. The cold final gulp of coffee is not bad. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Listen, always keep a supply of cold water bottles around. They're nice. Oof. Ethan Rogers, $10. Pseudo-rightoids aren't the same as actual rightoids. I more mean the people that play at it, but everything about them says otherwise. LARPer is probably the better word. I think there are definitely some people out there who aren't LARPers or just uneducated, right? On the left and on the right, obviously. Gunjim. The important part is putting our money where their mouth is. Yes. Listen, it's here, Mervini, you said that you're poor right now. I understand, man. It's just there's 500 people here. Sometimes there's 700, sometimes there's 1,000, sometimes there's like 300. But in any case, I can't talk to every single person. It's not possible. I'm sorry. No articles. Only argue with misinformed conservative Zoomers. Fuck. Fucking hell. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Eminem tells GOP presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy to stop rapping his music. Oh. Eminem. To be honest, Eminem's he's been shit for a while. He was good back in the 90s. Rapper Eminem has demanded that Vivek stop using his music on the campaign trail. In a cease and desist order sent to Ramaswamy's lawyer on August 23rd, music publisher BMI said Eminem took issue with the use of his music during Ramaswamy's campaign events. It came more than a week after he delivered an impromptu performance of Eminem's hit 2002 song "Lose Yourself." Oh my god! Fucking hell, dude. They received a communication from Marshall B. Mathers III, otherwise known as Eminem. Oh. I just got it. Marshall Mathers. That's why it's M and M. Oh. I can't believe I didn't know this before. I feel like a moron. Fuck. Vivek wants a 70% death tax, so no thank you. Yeah, Vivek seems weird, man. Like, Vivek actually seems like a grifter. Unfucking believable, says Dragonfat. $10 from Richard Ruth. Thank you. Not everyone deserves to own a house. Not everyone will achieve their dreams. This is life, and it is still a competition for resources. Adapt and grow, or die. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. You know, considering how many rightoids like the idea of evolutionary pressure and adaptation and competition, they seem to cry a lot when they can't compete. $2. Highly and Juggalo. Thank you. ICP was always right. Eminem was always a PAB. I just learned the Eminem thing too. Oh, brother. Oh my god. Political rap is cringe, only beaten out by economics rap. What the fuck is economics rap, British Knight? That sounds legitimately awful. Typical of these artists. I remember Tom Petty and his estate getting peeved at GOP candidates using his music while allowing Dems to use it. Yeah, I fucking, it's stupid. Like, I don't like Eminem. Fuck this shit. In response, he said he will not perform the song again. Vivek just got on stage and cut loose. To the American people's chagrin, we will have to leave the rapping to the real Slim Shady. That's funny. At least he rolled with the punches, right? Like, that's pretty funny. Oh, Omed announces the 1,500th satisfied customer for Vertica, the breakthrough home use device to treat erectile dysfunction. Oh my god. This is from Israel. Omed, a medtech startup located in the Tiberias Industrial Zone, has developed Vertica, a medical device designed to improve the lives of thousands of men who experience erectile dysfunction. Look at this thing. So you wear this, you put your dick through this thing, and it makes you hard when you can't get hard. Okay, we got to see this work. Okay, hold on. We're going to go see this work. Are the, wait. Price? One poor bastard wants the price. Okay, let's fucking see this thing. Achieve long-lasting results. You put your dick right in, and it does something to it. Safe, no side effects, no prescriptions. Wait, what is this part of it? Does this part go in your butt? Oh no, that cups your balls, maybe? How does it work though? I mean, it seems like it would be kind of like a cock ring, right? You know what I mean? Like it just keeps the blood from going back out of your dick. Okay, so here's the controls. And this goes like on your torso, I guess. Your dick goes through here. Your balls are cupped here. So your dick is like hard out here on the text. I don't. Is that a ring of ball bearings? I don't. I feel like this might be a bad idea, guys. The tickler goes in the ace hole. All right, who wants to try it? Who in the chat is going to say yes? Just use rubber bands? Fuck. What a weird device, dude. I'll try anything once. Yeah, it looks like an electrostimulation thing, yeah. Like it zaps you. All right. Anyway, that's that. The historic drought and hot seas have slowed down the Panama Canal shipping. Oh my god. Well, there we go. Before the Evermax ship carrying lava lamps, sofas, Halloween costumes, and artificial Christmas trees could make its inaugural Panama Canal voyage this month, a historic drought forced it to drop weight by offloading hundreds of containers. Weather-related disruptions denied the vessel, owned by Taiwanese shipping company Evergreen Marine, a chance back on August 1st to set a record for carrying the most containers through the vital maritime shortcut that connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The Panama Canal Authority has reduced maximum ship weights and daily ship crossings in a bid to conserve water. Maritime transportation experts fear such events could become the new normal as rainfall deficits in the world's fifth wettest country spotlight climate risks affecting the ocean shipping industry. Oh my god, guys. Well, not enough water to get through the canal anymore. Rip. Ship owners have the options of carrying less cargo, shifting to alternate routes that can add thousands of miles to the trip, or grappling with queues that earlier this month backed up 160 vessels and delayed some ships by as much as 21 days. The restrictions are already sending China-US spot shipping prices up as much as 36%. It's going to be an even drier period next year, so there'll be more trade disruption. More than 14,000 ships crossed the canal in 2022. Container ships are the most common users of the Panama Canal and transport more than 40% of consumer goods. Yeah, Barbie dolls, auto parts, BYD solar panels, water treatment equipment, diabetes testing kits, a bunch of things. So there we go. Panama has a drought, and shipping is being disrupted. Damn. Just Wi-Fi your packages? Oh no. We need more cheap stuff now. More containers. Here's the thing. In Canada, whenever something comes from China, it tends to go to Vancouver and then be transported across land because Canada's too far north for the Panama Canal to make to really make a difference. Burger King serves up a new Hershey's chocolate burger in Thailand. Oh wow, the Chocolate King menu in Thailand. It's a new chocolate bun made with Hershey's chocolate sandwich, a flame grilled beef patty, American cheese, crispy fried onions, bacon, and Hershey's premium chocolate sauce. You can find the Hershey's Whopper Jr., a flame grilled beef patty, American cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, pickles, onions, tomato, bacon, crispy fried onions, mayo, BBQ sauce served on a chocolate burger bun. Hershey's chocolate pie, a chocolate turnover style pie crust filled with chocolate filling. Hershey's iced chocolate, a chocolate drink, chocolate milkshake. Hershey's chocolate fries, French fries drizzled with Hershey's premium chocolate sauce. Wow, that sounds kind of gross, to be honest. Would you guys eat the Hershey's chocolate burger? That sounds fucking disgusting. Thailand confirmed world's new greatest fat fucks. This is today's thumbnail, guys. I have 93 alternate personalities, and I found a partner to love each one. Dude, one body, 93 people inside, and 93 boyfriends. That's how this works, right? A New Zealand woman has found love and happiness, even as she navigates life with 93 alternative personalities. Okay, so she has a condition where individuals within her an individual possesses several alters, each with their own distinct age, gender, and life experiences. For Amber Lodge, who's 31, these alters range from small children who love to paint to adults who relish dining out. Wait, she has small children personalities who like painting, but she has a partner to love each one of them? So which one of her partners is loving the small child? That's an oops. Some personalities are blunt and direct, others are shy and reserved. She was diagnosed with DID 5 years ago. At that point, she already experienced the complexities of relationships as her partners struggled to understand her rapidly changing identities, leading to short-lived romances. Before we were diagnosed with DID, it was hard and confusing for the people that we dated because they didn't understand why we would change so much and why they seemed to get a different person each time. Yep. She calls herself we to explain all the personalities. Oh, she met 26-year-old Andrea online. Their connection was instantaneous and now they're getting married. Aww. We kind of gave up on dating for a while until we met Andrea because she already followed us online and understood DID. Oh, she's dating one of her simps. Okay. We didn't have to tell her about it. She's understood it. Now, the only question is, do they do porn together? That's the only thing I care about. Reagan's worst act was shutting the loony bins down. Like, when they're finger blasting each other, what if she like alter shifts mid fuck? Hold on. It's exciting to date different individuals and learn about their distinct preferences and interests. Wait, okay. So if you're dating a girl with multiple personalities, then it's like you're fucking different people every time. So it's like you're not even cheating, you're just sleeping around with the same person. 50 first dates. Lodge's alters can surface 5 to 8 times a day, leading to unpredictable shifts in personality. On any given night, she could fall asleep with one and wake up to an entirely different person. Okay. If a child goes through extreme childhood trauma, these parts don't integrate, and they take on a self of their own, and amnesia barriers are created between those parts. That is what alters are. Okay, all right. Alters can have different ages, genders, life experiences, personalities. This looks like a whole mess of fucking trouble. How does this affect the child personalities? Ramona Flowers' final form. Okay. I want to find something real quick. Just wait. Just wait. Hold on. Oh, I can't find it. Fuck. There was a story of a person who was told that they had raped somebody else. And they said, I'm sorry. That was one of my alternate personalities. I didn't actually do it. It was one of my alternate personalities. I'm sorry. And it's just like, what the fuck? What the shit, dude? Oh my god, hold on. I found this looking for it, though. My alters raped me again. Anytime I feel bad about myself, they come and rape me and abuse me. And I hate that they do it whenever I'm weak, and it hurts so painfully. None of my friends are willing to hear of it because it's too triggering a topic, but I'm glad you're willing to hear it. Okay. How does this work? Like, does your alternate personality take over, then you like fist yourself or something? Like what's actually going on here? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. Based alter Jesus. Dev, that's not very centrist liberal of you to laugh at the struggles of people with alters. Yes, it fucking is. Because I'm not a leftist. I might not be a rightist, but I'm not a leftist. I can laugh at whoever the fuck I want. And I'm gonna. Yeah, people who actually have DID, they don't view their alters as being different people. Yeah, so it's all obviously bullshit. Like, it's obvious fucking nonsense. I wish I could find that story, though. It was so funny. Of the person who was like, yeah, I sexually assaulted you, but it's not my fault because one of my alters did it. Like, Jesus. What a fucking... What if someone made fun of Lilith like that? Lilith doesn't have DID. This is how you can tell they don't even study their own bullshit. Alters are supposedly created to protect the traumatized person. This person is a fucking nutcase, obviously. Who are you to question that? What do you mean? Who are you to say that she has it? I know Lilith. I know her very well. She doesn't have DID. Anyway, let's continue on. Students sue the school district for banning Let's Go Brandon shirts. Oh. 2 students are suing their school district in Michigan for not letting them wear sweatshirts to class bearing the political slogan, Let's Go Brandon, a popular euphemism for a profane curse towards Joe Biden. It's middle school. Oh my God. The middle schoolers argue they have a right to protest the president of the United States. The school district maintains the sweatshirts are vulgar and has a right to prohibit such material. Sounds like BS, counter the students and their mom and their lawyers. Criticism of the president is core political speech protected by the First Amendment. With this Biden sticker, Let's Go Brandon, gay pride t-shirt, schools can't pick and choose political views students can express. So here's the thing. 1, this is middle school, all right? Not high school. You can make the argument that middle school should be apolitical. That means no pride flags, that means no BLM flags, and it definitely means no Let's Go Brandon stuff, all right? Apolitical means no politics. So fair enough. Secondly, it was like this when I was younger. So it's probably still like this today. And it should be like this, frankly. That schools tend to ban not only like swears and curses, but euphemisms for those things, right? So for example, you couldn't wear, in my high school, you couldn't wear a shirt that said fuck on it, but you also couldn't wear a shirt that said like F and K and then like 2 asterisks for U and C. You couldn't wear that either because everyone knows that you're just censoring the word fuck, right? So because Let's Go Brandon is a popular euphemism for fuck Joe Biden, it makes sense under school policy that they would ban this. All right? So there should be no Pride shirts. There should be no Let's Go Brandon shirts. So I actually agree with this decision. But if they are going to bring in Pride shirts, then they should allow this to be consistent, but they shouldn't allow either of it, in my opinion. Yep, this is it. Let's Go Brandon. There's the shirt. So an assistant principal and teacher ordered them to remove the shirts. According to the lawsuit, the assistant principal told one of the boys that his sweatshirt was the equivalent to the F word. That's true. It is. Because we all know that Let's Go Brandon was the fuck Joe Biden. Like, that's what it means. Like that's the euphemism. Yeah. So if they're going after profanity, it makes complete sense to go after this. Yeah, here's the origin. Yeah, we get it. We know the origin already. NASCAR race. Oh, here's something different though. Let's see. It aims to ridicule the president. Well, that's not a reason to ban something. I mean, it is if you're going non-political, but the swears are reason enough. The commonly known meaning of the slogan "Let's Go Brandon" is intended to ridicule the president with profanity. Okay, so ridiculing the president is not the main issue. The profanity is the issue. Yeah. Simple Google search confirms the slogan means "fuck Joe Biden." Yeah. Okay. I support LGBT, landlords, gamers, billionaires, and Thatcher. I love that meme, man. So yeah, this makes sense to me. I don't think this is a bad ruling on the part of the school board. I mean, to be fair, if I were in school, I'd probably do this. Because I also like the idea of pushing on the boundaries and getting away with some nonsense, skirting the rules. I was that kind of kid. So if I were a student, I'd be trying to wear these. But if I were in charge of the school, I would be banning them, and it would be the right thing to do to ban them. Yes. The decomposition of Rotten Tomato. Oh my god, that's fucking disgusting. That's right. You guys heard about this? Oh god, how long is this expose? Oh my god, I don't want to read all this. Oh my god. I really gotta look over these articles before we fucking... So, basically, let's see if I can... I'll read the first couple paragraphs so you guys know what's going on here, okay? In 2018, a movie publicity company called Bunker 15 took on a new project, Ophelia, a feminist retelling of Hamlet. Critics who had seen early screenings had published 13 reviews. 7 of them were negative, which translated to a score of 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. A disappointing outcome for a film with prestige aspirations. But just because the tomato meter says a title is rotten, scoring below 60%, it doesn't need to stay that way. Bunker 15 went to work. While most film PR companies aim to get the attention of critics from top publications, Bunker 15 takes a more bottom-up approach, recruiting obscure, self-published critics who are nevertheless part of the pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. In another break from standard practice, Bunker 15 pays them $50 or more for a review. Wow. These payments are not disclosed, and Rotten Tomatoes says it prohibits reviewing based on financial incentive. In October of that year, an employee of the company emailed a prospective reviewer about Ophelia. It's a Sundance film, and the feeling is that it's been treated a bit harshly by some critics. So the teams involved feel it would benefit from more input from different critics. Maybe more input from different critics is not very subtle code. And the prospective critic wrote back to ask what would happen if he hated the film. The Bunker 15 employee replied that, of course, journalists are free to write whatever they like, but the super nice ones often agreed to not publish bad reviews on their usual websites, but instead quarantined them on a smaller blog that Rotten Tomatoes never sees. That's a very cool thing to do. Between October 2018 and January 2019, Rotten Tomatoes added 8 reviews to Ophelia's score. 7 of them were favorable, and most of them came from critics who had reviewed at least one other Bunker 15 movie. The writer of the negative review said that Bunker 15 lobbied them to change it. If a critic wanted to give it a barely overall positive, then I do know the editors at Rotten Tomatoes can get it switched. I also discovered another negative review of Ophelia from this period that was not counted by Rotten Tomatoes, by a writer whose positive reviews of other Bunker 15 films had been recorded by the aggregator. Ophelia climbed the tomato meter to 62%, flipping from rotten to fresh. The next month, the distributor IFC Films announced it had acquired Ophelia for American release. Now, Ophelia's production company didn't return requests for comment. Bunker 15's founder, Daniel Harlow, says, "You're really reaching there," and disagrees with the suggestion that his company buys reviews to skew on Rotten Tomatoes. So, this article is a giant expose of the corruption in Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not going to read all of it. It's worth a read yourself. But that's what's going on. There are companies, they're not paying reviewers to say good things and then punishing them when they don't. They're simply finding reviewers who will say good things and paying them. So it's a subtle distinction, but we all know what they're doing, right? I did a video, I think last year, on how shitty Rotten Tomatoes is, and this basically just confirms it. All right? This basically just confirms it. There's a super chat here. Thank you very much. $5 from Sean King. I slept in and joined in at the start of you reading articles. Also, I heard your city has the highest crime rate in Ontario. I'm pretty sure Thunder Bay does. But yeah, the crime rate's pretty high here, but you know what? It's still pretty peaceful. Canada's a pretty peaceful place. Also, I honestly think that Toronto's probably higher. An explosion at the University of Pittsburgh transgender debate causes a safety emergency. What? Protesters broke out at the University of Pittsburgh after the Daily Wire host, Michael Knowles, and journalist Brad Palumbo visited the school to debate transgender ideology, a hot topic on college campuses across the country. The anger directed against the topic of discussion, should transgenderism be regulated by law, turned into fear as a loud explosion was heard and felt in the debate room. The explosion prompted Pitt to send an emergency alert to students about a public safety emergency. So was there like a real explosion, or did someone just like play an audio of an explosion? Or like, by explosion, do you just mean like people getting angry? Here's the thing, right? I don't like Michael Knowles. I don't like Matt Walsh, because they've come out saying that transitioning should be banned for adults. There's a lot of good faith conversation to be had about kids, for sure, obviously. Like, the right wingers have some very good points, but for adults, no. Absolutely not. No. This idea that we should be allowing the state to regulate what you do with your body, I think, is crazy. I think it's crazy for vaccines. I think it's crazy for abortions. I think it's crazy for transitioning. Even after the debate over transgenderism concluded, the protests reportedly continued outside. Some chanted, yelled, played drums and cowbells, and held LGBTQ flags as police urged them to clear off the streets. Trigglypuff literally exploded. That'd be funny. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette also reported that one protester set fire to a cardboard cutout with Mr. Knowles' face on it. Should we allow adults to do crack and cocaine? If they're only doing it in their own house and they're not bothering anybody else, I don't care. It's bad for them. They shouldn't. But should they be banned? No, I don't think so. Knowles retweeted a video of students protesting on the University of Pittsburgh's campus on a special Twitter account. Also shared articles, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it. Oh, they set off fireworks. Okay, that's what happened. All right. They set off fire. Protesters tried to interrupt and set off fireworks in the street. All right. They reportedly assaulted cops. Hopefully the cops assaulted them back and then arrested them. Grow up. Yep. Like, I don't even agree with Michael Knowles, but the idea of censoring him is ridiculous to me. Should prostitution be legal? Yes, but not streetwalkers. Get that shit off the streets. Do it in private. This University of Pittsburgh's LGBTQ task force posted several demands for the university to implement. These centers need not be buried deep in an organization chart. LGBTQIA plus staff hired need to have some level of autonomy over collaboration, programming, and resource sharing. No more of this BS departmental division gatekeeping. What the fuck does that have to do with them showing up? I don't fucking know. Come out, ye black and trans. Come fight me like a man, Michael McKnowles. Nah, I don't like the idea of banning it for adults. That seems ridiculous to me. Why private? Because splitting up your life into public and private sectors, where in the public it is appropriate for the collective to have a say, and in private it is not appropriate for the collective to have a say. That is the proper way of organizing human life. All right? Anyway, lots of protests, lots of stupidity. I don't like Michael Knowles, but he shouldn't be censored. Simple as that. Breaking. DOJ prosecutors seek 120 days in prison for Owen Schroyer for speaking out against the stolen 2020 election. A speech crime. Let's see the speech crime. InfoWars host Owen Schroyer pleaded guilty in June to a single Class A misdemeanor of entering and remaining in a restricted building on ground. What the? This isn't a fucking speech crime? Okay, a speech crime. But the crime is entering and remaining in a restricted building. Okay. All right, dude. The highly talented journalist was okay, this is obviously slanted. The highly talented journalist was initially charged in August 2021. Okay, after nearly 2 years of fighting. Okay, let's see the charges. See the charges. Here we go. Okay. Here's the sentencing. Let's read the sentencing. In the months prior to January 6th, Schroyer spread election disinformation paired with violent rhetoric to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of viewers. He presciently warned in November 2020 that if Joe Biden became president, it's not going to be a million peaceful marchers in D.C. On January 6, 2021, he took a megaphone before leading a crowd to the Capitol. The Democrats are posing as communists. We know what they really are. They're just tyrants. They're tyrants. And so today, on January 6th, we declare death to tyranny, death to the tyrants. Schroyer did not stop at the sight of tear gas or sounds of explosions on the west side of the Capitol. He continued marching around to the top of the east steps, chanting 1776, where rioters would eventually violently breach the Capitol and its police line and halt the transfer of presidential power. He did not step foot inside the Capitol. He did not need to. Many of those who listened to him did instead. In the aftermath, he blamed Antifa. Okay, he blamed Antifa. And he told his followers, we should be proud of what happened. Okay, so the government respectfully requests that this court sentence him to 120 days of incarceration, 12 months of supervised release, 60 hours community service, and $500. Okay, so it feels like both of these things are wrong, right? Oh, thanks, photographer. Thanks for the donation, man. So when the headline says a speech crime, that's clearly not the case, right? Like, that's stupid. But when The official charge: misdemeanor of entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds. Or grounds, right? So maybe like, okay? He was on top of the east steps. Are the east steps of the Capitol building, is that restricted grounds? Because that could be the case. Hold on. Okay. Prohibited areas. Groups of any size are prohibited from demonstrating in the following areas: 1. Inside of any congressional buildings. 2. On the steps of the United States Capitol. 3. On the steps of any building on Capitol grounds. 4. In any area otherwise closed or restricted for official use. 5. In roadways or any area routinely used for vehicular traffic. And then 6. Prohibited areas as defined in the Capitol Grounds Demonstration Access Map. Okay. Okay, so it seems like, I know Artemis. Thank you, Elias Grates. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Hold on. This is why we think the justice system is broken. Corrupt, Dev. It's not completely broken, but both sides manipulate it against their enemies. Thank you for the $5, Hi Senti. One, you can't really solve that because everyone's gonna get the everyone's gonna try to play any system to their advantage. That's just human nature, right? But secondly, it doesn't seem like this is bad. Hold on. Artemis says you can't restrict public property. Oh, yes, you fucking can. You absolutely can restrict public property. All right? Like, when I worked for a city government, there was a publicly owned yard. It was public property, but you couldn't just walk in as a member of the public because we had all of our equipment there, right? We had like vehicles and like machinery and stuff. You can't just walk into that, even though it's publicly owned. So no. So no, man, like, this seems correct. A misdemeanor of entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds. When he was on the steps, the top of the east steps, that was him breaking this law. So that seems right. And even if it wasn't, I mean, this entire paragraph, he's describing incitement to riot. I assume the reason that he didn't get incitement to riot is that he pleaded down to a misdemeanor, right? Hold on. Incitement to riot. Is that a felony? I can't tell. Incitement to riot if he or she urges 10 or more persons to engage in tumultuous and violent conduct. I don't know if it's a felony or a misdemeanor though. I don't know. Can't tell. I don't want to spend too much time. You have a right to protest on public property, Dev. You can keep saying that, Artemis, but I mean, I just read off that law, right? Hold on. Yeah. Prohibited areas. There are certain places you can't protest, Artemis, even if it's public property. And that includes the United States Capitol grounds. Capitol building. Can't do it. Incitement needs a direct call to action. Let's see. Democrats posing as communists. Well, it's not going to be a million peaceful marchers in D.C. They could construe that. Death to tyranny, death to tyrants. Maybe. This is all, on the line, The way Dev is going is probably voting Trudeau again. Why the fuck would I, dude? Like, how stupid are you? You can write laws for anything. Doesn't mean it's constitutional. Well, if that's the case, Artemis, then he should appeal this and work his way up to the Supreme Court and then see if the Supreme Court decides if it's constitutional or not, because that is their job. So, this is why I always say, wait for it to come out. All right? Wait for it to come out. Anyway, here we go. This seems fine to me, to be honest. This doesn't seem like it's tyrannical or unfair. This seems like exactly what should happen. The Patriot Act was law. That doesn't mean it's constitutional. Oh, God. Listen, Artemis, bring it to the courts. And okay, here. I hate this line that comes out of like anti-establishment types. Just vote harder, guys. What are you going to do? I mean, you're not going to vote, and you're too cucked to revolt. You're just going to complain online all day? Is that what you're going to do? Some fucking doomerous nonsense. Fuck. He should dedicate years of his life and tons of money and resources to challenge verdict and get it brought to the Supreme Court. Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to do the right thing, doesn't it? What the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck? Jesus. Oh my God, and Avalon here. Obviously, we're not going to peacefully protest because then we'll be arrested and you'll defend the arrest. Why would you do your protest in a spot where it's illegal to protest? Like, this is the problem, dude. Yeah. The voting doesn't work crowd, they're all just a bunch of fucking cucks. It's like, voting doesn't work. We need to rise up. Go ahead. Go on. Let's see it. Never going to do it. Because they're just fucking LARPers. Doing the right thing is often a privilege of the rich. Oh my God. Are we at the point of like of right-wing communism? Is that where we are now? Okay, let's move on. Too much coping from the chat today. Portland politician who called 911 over lift spat blames white supremacists. Jesus Christ. I can't tell if this is a guy or a girl, but it looks like a fucking corpse. Oh, her. Okay, this is a girl, apparently. This is a girl. Willison, $5. Not too cucked, Dev. It's about aiming at the right targets, and the Hydra has many heads. That sounds kind of cucked, to be honest. Honestly, I think if you're talking about Hydras and overthrowing the government, you might be a bit out to fucking lunch. Elias, thanks for the $1. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, the fucking crypt keeper right here. Someone call the British Museum. Their mummies have escaped. A Portland, Oregon politician who called the cops over an argument with her Lyft driver despite her support for defund the police movement now says that she acted out of fear of white supremacists. What a fucking paragraph that is. Call the cops because you don't like your Lyft driver. You support defund the police, and now you're saying you're motivated out of white supremacists. The term white supremacy means nothing now? Yep. Where's Brendan Fraser when you need him? City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty and her Lyft driver made dueling 911 calls during a November 1st ride from hell. That sounds terrible. She griped about everything. Hold on a second. I gotta fucking... Is this person trans? Or just very unlucky genetically? Can't tell. Oh, I decided to look her up. She currently owes $16,000 in unpaid credit card debt. And she's been avoiding the debt. Oh, and she lost her 2022 race. Okay, good. Get the fuck out. She seems like a fucking wreck, to be honest. Anyway. She made dueling 911 calls. She got caught flack for the move in light of her claiming most 911 calls aren't for real crimes. Said during a city council meeting on Thursday that she was motivated by a fear of far-right demonstrators who have recently rallied. This is another example of being black in America and being put in a position where I have to be the one to look out for my personal safety. I didn't expect the Lyft driver to do it, so I didn't expect the police to do it. It was my responsibility to make sure I got home safe. Yeah, it is. It's always your responsibility to make sure you get home safe. Take some fucking personal accountability. Whether you're living in a city where white supremacists are proudly riding around in their big trucks with their flags and you're a black person, someone wants to put you on the side of the road at night, it's not going to happen. What the fuck's wrong with you? She just seems like retarded. I'm glad she's out of office. Fuck this person. Ask her how she would feel if she didn't eat breakfast this morning. I don't necessarily believe that meme, but I like that it's become a meme because it's really fucking funny. Oh, Okoa, thank you for the $5. I see it took an hour to get to the articles today. I'm sure everyone was very chill and no one was upset this morning. Oh, don't worry. Everyone was coping with the previous article, too. The health effects of weed are laid bare. Marijuana is behind 3 in 10 schizophrenia cases. It can be a death sentence in pregnant users. But Biden still wants to ease restrictions on the drug. You know what? I'm fine with that, to be honest. Like, if you have schizophrenia, don't use weed, you fucking moron. If you're pregnant, don't smoke weed. Obviously, right? Like, adults can engage with vice, but it's your responsibility to not overindulge. A nationwide social experiment launched by a wave of marijuana legalizations is finally bearing results in the form of higher depression rates and addiction. It started in 2012 in Colorado and Washington, setting off a domino effect that has seen restrictions lifted across nearly 40 states, including 23 where it's legal to use marijuana recreationally. The Biden administration now aims to demote the drug from its Schedule 1 status, which lumped it in with heroin and LSD. To be fair, it's not heroin and LSD. It's not as bad as those things, obviously. Yeah. Legalize all drugs, let Darwinism take its course. You know, I'm kind of for that, right? Like, I don't like seeing the streets full of drugoids, but those drugoids are very clearly, like, low-quality people. And on some level, they kind of deserve to be there for being such shitheads. Highly and Juggalo, $5. Thank you. The question is, what has the state snuck in after legalization that causes this? The weed we smoked didn't do this, and you know that. I don't necessarily agree. No way. Potheads are definitely addicted, for sure. Is everything a fucking oid now? Yes. Drugoids, buddy. Oh my god. Avalon, you've been coping all day. Dev accusing everyone else of coping is itself coping. There's a reason why he never debates with American right-wingers or libertarians about anything. Dude, when have I debated anybody? It's been a long, like, aside from like Arch and Sargon and V, like, you know, I don't do debates. I'm friends with Adam and Sitch, but like, I've never, like, it's been years since I've debated randoms. It's not what this channel's about. I have a feeling I might have a blind spot here, buddy. Anyway, 16% of the population uses marijuana, the rate that has more than doubled in the last 10 years, amid a seismic cultural shift that has seen more acceptance between medical and recreational use. But it turns out the seemingly harmless drug may not be so benign. So let's see. Cannabis uses rest while pregnant. Yeah, you shouldn't smoke while pregnant. You shouldn't drink while pregnant. You shouldn't do weed while pregnant, obviously, right? THC strength in weed has soared, yet weed's getting stronger. Chronic cannabis use doubles major depression risk. 20% of people become addicted. Yeah, like alcohol has similar problems, all right? Smoking cigarettes, obviously. Obviously, like, this idea that drugs... Hey, hold on. I'm trying to square this away. Hold on. Let me think for a minute. Let me think. My brain's kind of shutting down. Give me a second. I am ultimately pro decriminalization because I think that people should have the option to do what they want. But is it good for you? No. You should be allowed to do bad things is not the same thing as saying bad things are good. All right? Oof. So, yeah, man, using weed has become so normalized, and it's not good for people. It's not good for people. Listen, zero fucks. I know how to nuance all the time. You just don't like it when the nuance falls against you. Yeah, exactly. You can't legislate against people being irresponsible. Like, we should decriminalize drugs, and then we should make it illegal to be homeless on the street, and then engage police force and round them all the fuck up and throw them into some sort of institutional facility where they get held until they get sober. And that's how it should be. And if you get caught up in this, that means that you suck. Let's go here. Left-wing candidate who threatened to blow up a school bus has been endorsed by the bus riders union. Ubach's Gardhere, the embattled Progressive County Council candidate who threatened to blow up a school bus filled with children, has been endorsed by a radical activist transit union whose logo is, unironically, a bus. Wow. Oh, okay. The transit union is well known in Seattle for being activist foot soldiers for radical causes and Marxist candidates. They announced the endorsement after national attention was brought to Gardhere's past. Excuse me? Hold on. I'm not... Okay. You can't drive. You can't leave. Why not? Can't breathe. Why? This is from back in 2010. I'm Muslim. I'm covered. I might have a bomb. So in 2010, she threatened to blow up the union. Or sorry, the bus. And now she got... Oh, everyone's getting off the bus. And now she's getting endorsements. Oh, God. How fucking stupid is this? Oh, dude, fuck Seattle. $5 for Beckett. More drugs people to consume. What's everyone's obsession with smoking stuff? Gonna be more peeps like vapor saying I can start whatever. Yeah, dude. So many fucking addicts. So stupid. Remember when arcades used to say winners don't do drugs? Yeah, dude. Like, what the fuck happened to temperance? How to join the $5 club. Elias, if you have a Twitch sub or a YouTube membership or Patreon or Subscribe Star, you should be put into the Discord automatically. Just wait for the bot to put you in, I guess. $1 for Anatolope. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah. Yeah, basically how it works is if you're in the Discord, there will be a bot that puts you in after it catches that you have the sub, which might take a little bit of time. It's all automated. Let's continue on. What to know about Ruby Frank, a parenting YouTuber who was charged with child abuse. Oh. Ruby Frank, a Utah mother of 6 behind a well-known parenting YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, was charged with multiple counts of aggravated child abuse alongside her business partner after Frank's 12-year-old son showed up at a neighbor's home appearing malnourished and with open wounds. Late Wednesday, her son escaped out of a window at their home. No, at the home of Jody Hildebrandt, Frank's business partner and co-defendant. The son ran to a neighbor's home where he asked for food and water. The Santa Clara Public Safety Department said in a statement the child appeared emaciated and malnourished, while a responding officer observed deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and duct tape around his extremities. After searching Hildebrandt's home, police found Frank's 10-year-old daughter in a similar state. Hildebrandt's counseling firm, Conizions, where Frank works, did not immediately return a request for comment late Thursday. Both women declined to speak with officers and requested attorneys, who were not immediately identified. Frank's husband, Kevin, was not named, and it's not clear if the couple is still together. Oh my God. Frank rose to fame in the 2010s, documenting the lives of her 6 children to more than 2 million subscribers on the now-deleted YouTube channel 8 Passengers. In recent years, viewers have raised concerns about Frank's harsh approach to parenting, which had included withholding food from her kids as a form of discipline or instruction. Can you guys fix her? $8 from Tricky Mario, thank you. Honestly, someone should bring back the now demolished Alaska View Way viaduct in Seattle and build it all over the city. Thanks, man. Let's see. Moms of Truth. There's been a lot of talk about my parenting over the last few years. Yeah, for good reasons. I was literally thinking we can fix her, boys. Fuck. They are all members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and 8 Passengers allowed them to share Mormonism in a way that they normally wouldn't in Springville, Utah. Frank explained why her daughter needed to go hungry to learn to pack her lunch in one of her videos. She threatened her child with losing the privilege of eating dinner. Okay. Yep. Frank and Hildebrandt are both charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, a felony that carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison. Denied bail. Yep. Wow. What a fucked up situation, guys. A Seattle man was hospitalized after confusing NOS Octane Booster for the energy drink. So he drank actual NOS rather than drinking the NOS energy drink. A man in Seattle was hospitalized after drinking an entire bottle of NOS Octane Booster Racing Formula. Octane Booster is basically high-octane gasoline. But there's also a NOS energy drink with very similar packaging that's meant to give people a caffeine boost. But how bad do energy drinks have to taste for you to drink an entire bottle of Octane Booster and not realize it? This happened back in 2020, but it was recently published in the American Medical Journal. The man went to the hospital after suffering a seizure and then stayed in the hospital with seizures for 4 more days. He was able to walk out of the hospital a few days later. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Okay, hold on. So, when you buy a NOS nowadays, they look like hold on. Yeah, here we go. They look like this can here, right? It's like a can. When you bought NOS when I was a kid, they look like this. And this actually looks like a tank that you put into a car. Yeah. This guy says, I miss going to 7-Eleven back in 2010 after school to get NOS in these old plastic bottles. Yeah, man. Like this was great. Drinking NOS out of this thing. Now the issue though is that it looks like a gas tank. So look at this here. It does look a bit similar to the actual tank of NOS you put in your car. And it's like, oh, okay. Nintendo showed off the Switch 2 at Gamescom. The company is understood to have held private tech demos ahead of an expected 2024 launch. A new report from Eurogamer, which we can corroborate via our own sources, that Nintendo showed off the Nintendo Switch successor behind closed doors at Gamescom. Nintendo privately showed invited developers specially prepared tech demos for its next generation console, which could launch next year. One of the Switch 2 demos is understood to have been an improved version of the Switch launch title Breath of the Wild, running at a higher frame rate and resolution than the original game did, on hardware targeting the new console's specs. There's no suggestion that Breath of the Wild will actually be re-released. Another source claimed that Nintendo showcased Epic's impressive The Matrix Awakened Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, which was originally released to showcase the power of the PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2021. The demo is said to have been running using NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling technology, with advanced ray tracing enabled in visuals comparable to Sony's and Microsoft's current gen consoles. Oh. So, it should be noticed that this does not mean the Switch successor will support raw power anywhere near that of the PS5. It might, though. The Switch 2 might be on par with the PS5 or Xbox Series X, just in a portable form. Yeah. New Switch next year. The Switch U. Okay, DLSS, yeah. Nintendo filed patents for a potential AI upscaling technology back in 2020. All right, sounds good. Okay. Nintendo made a patent, which made public in 2021, describes a process similar to the Switch's main functionality, where a game can run at one resolution while a device is being powered by battery, and then when plugged into a power socket or connected to a TV, the output is upscaled to 1080p. 540p upscales to 1080. It can also be upscaled to 4K. Okay. A recent VGC report indicates that the company is planning to launch a new generation of hardware next year. Oh boy. The Nintendo Swap should be the name. The Swap. There's going to be like Nintendo wife swap jokes though. Looking at Nintendo's financials, it seems clear that it's time for a new piece of hardware in 2024, because there have been double-digit declines in hardware and software sales this year for the Switch. Hardware is projected to fall 16.5% year-on-year in the current fiscal, while the minus for software is 15.9%. The only way to stop these losses from ballooning in the next fiscal is a new device. Well, okay. Well, there we go. Dude, now listen. You all know I'm a huge Nintendo cuck. I am all on board. I'm going to soy face out. I'm going to go full soy when it comes to the next Nintendo console. Hope it's good. Anyway, that's everything. That's all I've got for you today. There's all the articles. Thanks, everyone. You guys are all great. Even though you're wrong about literally everything all the time, it's okay. How's it going, chat? Okay, it is 1:16. I am leaving town in about 4 hours, so I need to get a few jobs done before I get the fuck out of here. I'm going to be gone till Tuesday. So, I am going to skedaddle. Thanks for being here, everyone. You guys are all great. I will definitely see you next time. I enjoy our arguments. Don't worry. Eventually, I will actually make videos on these topics rather than just like spouting off half-formed ideas on stream. How was Sea of Stars? I am playing Sea of Stars again on Wednesday. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. Cancer point. Fuck you, oh fucks. Can we have a live soy reaction to the new Nintendo console? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Anyway, I'm gonna go though. I appreciate everything, guys. Thank you for all the donations, all the support. I heard that Nintendo has a strap-on with every purchase. Talk about New Mexico emergency orders. I don't know much about them, Artemis. So I've seen one article where it claims that the New Mexico governor said that she doesn't have an obligation to uphold the Constitution. That sounds fucking insane to me. Like that sounds like you should lose your job level of insane to me. But I don't know enough about them, so I'll have to do it another time. But I got to go right now. I have, like I said, 4 hours to do all my work. So, even though I'm gone, Dave's gonna stream without me. So tune into the stream tomorrow for some no dev time, Dave only, okay? And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good one. I love you.